Hey guys, welcome to another English commentary done by Diggity. This is going to be a match between Kal and Jangbi, MSL Season 4 Semifinals. And yeah, I know I've missed a lot in between here. I might go back and do it, but I want to get the semifinals going basically because, yeah, I know this is like a couple days late. I'll try to get my J-Dong out as quickly as possible as well. And it looks like Jangbi is starting the upper right-hand corner in purple, and Kal starting the bottom left-hand corner in red. And this is going to be on Loki II. These are not the two players I expected to be here. Not to say that they're undeserving, but Kal, I really felt like going into this, he was a bit inexperienced, and by that I don't mean he's a bad player. I just meant he, as far as in front of camera time, it seemed like he was nervous, like he didn't bring his A game every time. Jangbi just coming out of nowhere. I know Moltrap was saying I hated Jangbi before it was popular because he was knocking off some of his favorite players, but I think Moltrap, I can't speak for him, but I think he's since become a Jangbi fan, really. Jangbi playing at a very high level. He's kind of like Mind last season, coming out of nowhere. I mean, Jangbi, we just did not hear about him prior to this MSL season. All of a sudden he's in the semifinals. Both these guys, seriously, 3 protoss going in to the round of 32 and 2 protoss coming out. Unbelievable. I'm surprised any time got knocked out by Nada, actually. But still, yeah, it'll be interesting to see the match here. Both players really playing well. Really, I feel like Kal's especially blossomed, and Jangbi's really established a name for himself in this MSL. And we'll see if either of them can cap it out. I think both of them are deserving, and I think it's going to be a real grudge match, because I think they really are. They're really evenly matched. Single gate going down both sides. Doesn't look like we're seeing any proxy action in the meantime. But yeah, I really do feel like this is going to be an absolutely epic best of 5, and I'm just excited. It looks like Kal getting a little sneaky already, putting a proxy pylon down. Interesting. And on Loki II, we'll see how well that works, because there is a lot of room to do kind of that tricky proxy stuff. Really, he needs to... I'm surprised he didn't block his front door with probes, because even going that proxy, he needs to do something, because Jangbi's going to be able to sniff that out, seeing that the second gateway and the pylon's not down, as well as the gas isn't down. We'll see how he responds, because right now going in, he's seeing that there's not a second pylon, he's seeing that the second gateway isn't coming. He knows basically that there's something kind of fishy going on. Checking the secondary, as you can see, when the secondary, he's just double checking to make sure that there's not a fast expansion coming. It looks like he's going to respond by going 2 gate zealots, and that's an interesting maneuver, in my opinion, for Loki II, because it is a ramp map, and when you're going 2 zealot, I think it's easier to defend. You can get that pylon down, you can get kind of that zealot blockade. You can engage zealots on equal terms off a ramp. So we'll see how that works for him. We'll see if he decides to put down the gas. It looks low. He's already got that 2 gates. I know he's putting down a 3rd pylon, so it looks like he is, in fact, just going to start throwing zealots into Kal here in a minute. We'll see how Kal does for tech in the meantime. Looks like he's produced a zealot in the meantime. Still only has a single gateway down. Maybe he is thinking about fast expanding. Yeah, he's going to take the expansion, the unprotected expansion, along with that hidden tech. I guess he's doing that. Maybe it's to pose for the probe, but really he's doing that because, interesting, and he's going to have a hard time defending that against this 2-gate zealot build, or at least any production of zealots in the meantime. Putting down that nexus outside, I think that might be to pose for that. We'll see if he cancels it right after this. And a second expansion going down for Jangbi as well. Right on cue though, but he's got the 2 gateways down. Keep in mind there's still that proxy pylon out in the field. We'll see if there's any hidden tech being built on it. Neither player grabbing their gas yet, which is very surprising. Now grabbing the gas, which is very surprising in Protoss versus Protoss, actually. Usually you'll see the gas, going straight for Dragoons, going straight for range. I guess in Loki II they really feel like there's enough distance in between that you don't have a single zealot. I love that map art. I love I've said it many times before, I love Protoss versus Protoss on this map. But really it's such a long map that I guess you really don't have to worry as much about kind of Dragoon pushes, because there is a large distance that reinforcements have to travel unless you're facing a proxy. It's not that big an issue. But again, that pylon out there is still an X factor. 2 zealots pushing in. Looks like there's plenty of zealots to greet them though and warm open arms here. Going to be able to defend that nexus fairly easily, and actually it looks like, yeah, so Kal's going to be okay, but about dead even, a little bit behind him on as far as unit production, I would say. Cybernetics core now going down for Jangbi, and we'll see if Kal follows suit, or if he decides to do some, maybe he'll put it down at the, no, actually he'll probably put that Cybernetics core there, and his ultimate plan is probably to get that Dark Templar archives, or I should say that Citadel and the Templar archives, at that third location. As soon as he gets rid of that probe just has a sliver of health left. Yeah, in the meantime, looks like full production at both gateways. So both players fairly well even, except for that pylon out in the field from Kal. I'm not sure. My guessing is that Jangbi realizes, though, that there's one pylon short in the base. It's got to be out there somewhere. We'll see if he's astute enough to kind of figure that out. Kal, actually, his scouting probe still at full health running around in Jangbi's base. Keep that in mind. It looks like that probe still... We'll see soon once those Dragoons are produced, how much longer they can last, but still doing a fantastic job in there. Second gas going down for Jangbi in the meantime. Really fast, guys. I'll put a detail thing. Go check out the Blizzcast, first of all, and second of all, please check out Tasteless. And he's putting actually Citadel down towards the front, and that's interesting. Instead of putting it at the proxy pylon, he has robotics facility going down in the meantime for Jangbi. So if there is a Dark Templar push, it's going to be we'll see if he goes observers. I don't think he's going to go drop here. There's really, maybe going after the protected secondary, but really that suggests more where he's going for observers. He does kind of sense this Templar push, and I think that's going to put him somewhat ahead, honestly. Looks like he's got about 5 Zolts. Yeah, those two Dragoons there. And Templar Archives as well as robotics facility going down for Kal. So what Kal's going to have to do is, once those observers are out in the field, he's going to have to dodge them left and right. And we'll see if Jangbi goes for that protected secondary in the meantime, because that's the one nice thing about shuttles on this map, is you can drop right into the protected secondary and kind of sneak through otherwise. And right now it looks like the pylon count's starting to even out. Looks like that range upgrade just still going, just about finished. It looks like interesting. A proxy pylon at the 6 o'clock location. I think that's just for spotting purposes. It looked like Kal was thinking about taking his protected secondary, but is going to back off at this point. Now that he sees that Dragoons are coming towards his base, thinking that maybe Jangbi's starting to push right now, and he doesn't want to get caught with that 400 minerals. It would be kind of, I'm not going to say it's suicidal, but it would be very difficult to do kind of both a Dark Templar drop and expansion at the same time, and defend kind of at a general ground troop out of 2 gateways, in my opinion. Getting the third gateway down now. Large grouping of Zealots, a couple Dragoons down at the front. Citadel is down, and again, I think that's an odd position, because any troop pushing up there, basically, Kal's in a very... he really needs to block that out. And it looks like Jangbi actually setting up to take that third expansion. And now the question again is going to come down to is, where are the observers going to go? Kal's going to have some degree of map control, because he's going to have the Dark Templar out in the field. Looks like he's getting counted down on his front door just in case Jangbi went with the Dark Templar. Again, keep in mind he's in the dark at the moment. I think that probe was killed a long time ago. And it looks like Jangbi pushing up with a good-sized Dragoon force. Both players kind of just macroing up at this point. Kal being somewhat more aggressive again with that Dark Templar push. I'm going to assume that's a couple Dark Templar inside that dropship pushing out towards and we'll see they go to oh no, this could be actually absolutely disastrous. Actually, Dark Templar out on the ground, and maybe there's one on the ground, one out in the dropship, and maybe this is a brilliant maneuver by Kal. He realizes that only a single observer can be out in the field at the moment. So what he's going to do is he's going to split his Dark Templar up and force basically Jangbi to bring that observer to one location or the other. But it looks like that dropship was spotted out, so that observer looks like, yeah, it's going to try to split in between the two, and that's I like that maneuver by Kal, basically forcing Jangbi to use that single observer at 2 locations. Unfortunately, the longer he delays with this, looks like he's going to try to sneak around and get some probes in the back line. He might be able to do this. I don't know. I think that dropship was spotted out by that observer. And it was a High Templar, a Psystorm going off. Brilliant maneuver. Oh, killing so many probes. Beautiful anticipation on the probes pulling back. I think what Jangbi thought that was going to be a Dark Templar. So started pushing the probes out towards the line and just didn't realize that it was a High Templar. Psystorm going off. Looks like he will be able to intercept this dropship in the meantime and kill the dropship as well as the Templar inside, which is somewhat of a counter cost, but really a good disruption of resources in the meantime. So High Templar with Psystorm out in the meantime. Brilliant. Engaging this force. Looks like a dropship also up in the meantime for Jangbi, but Kal has spotted it out, so he knows that dropship is out and about. Now we'll see if he can kind of do the counter. It looks like a Reaver inside there. I didn't even see the robotics facility go up on the opposite side, but really in this, it'll be an interesting maneuver both directions. Beautiful Psystorm over all the Dragoons right there. Another good Psystorm across the board, and this is an interesting mix of units versus one another. Usually I favor the Psystorm in this grouping, but it looks like no. Actually, for a second there, it looked like Jangbi was going to come out ahead. Just amazing micromanagement. Considering that 2 storms went across his drones, looks like he's going to be able to put that Reaver in the backside, going to be able to take out a probe, whatever that building was. But keep in mind, two groups of Psystorm went across those Dragoons, and yet Jangbi basically almost came out even in what looked like he had maybe down 2 Dragoons. So amazing micromanagement on his part. Very good concentration there. And I think that because